Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. 2023 presidential candidate. Asiwaju.
For better Nigeria, for richer Nigeria, for growth of Nigeria, for our progress. Ọmọ Tinubu, òun ló lè ṣe. Bola Ahmed, Jagaban tiwa, ọmọ tó jọmọ lọ, ẹ jẹ́ ká tẹ̀ka fún. Àyè òun ló lè ṣe. Come on, let's go. Vote for Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the Jagaban of Nigeria. APC. Positive change.
Tẹ́ bá dìbò fún Tinubu yìí o, Asiwaju á ṣe nọ́mà o, á pèsè iṣẹ́ fáwọn ọ̀dọ́ o, lórílẹ̀‐èdè Nàìjíríà yìí, Jagaban of Nàìjíríà o, ó ní gbogbo Nàìjíríà ń bá lọ o, bó ṣe mi àti ilé mi o, Bola Ahmed Tinubu la ó dìbò fún, Hausa Igbo pẹ̀lú Yorùbá o. Ẹ jáde ká lọ dìbò fún ìyẹn Bola Ahmed Tinubu o, Jagaban of Nigeria o, gbogbo South West fọwọ́ sí o, Bola Ahmed la máa dìbò fún, reliable integrity, ọmọ Tinubu ló lè ṣe yẹn, for qualitative education o, ọmọ Tinubu ló lè ṣe yẹn. Nigeria.
Thank you, Glorious. Good. Now, Tinubu is on my table, and I'm not slaughtering him. I'm only unearthing him. Yes. What sin has Tinubu committed that his lifetime ambition is being resisted by those who ordinarily should elevate it? Has Tinubu been caught in his own plot? Even Yemi Osinbajo, his man, has become his main stumbling block. I thought they said Osinbajo rode to being vice president on the back of Tinubu. In this 2014 interview, Osinbajo explains Tinubu, his man. Do you think you are a product of Bodilon?
If you mean Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, if that's what you mean.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Let me explain that. In the first place, my first encounter with governance at all was as special advisor to Bola, who was Attorney General, right? My second encounter was with the Lagos State government. I was appointed by Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, who of course did not even know me as a person, but perhaps had heard of me by reputation and all of that, and appointed me to be Attorney General. And what we experienced in Lagos State, under him, he appointed myself, Wale Yemi Cardoso, Aregbe Shola, quite a few of us who at the time were not necessarily politicians, and Dele Alake pointed us into those positions because he wanted to build up a body of technocrats who also have some political experience, because he strongly believed that the way to go about governance in this country is to bring in technocrats, not necessarily politicians, but technocrats who will eventually, get into politics one way or the other in order to be able to build this country up properly. Now, one thing that I think that Bola Tinubu has done over the years, and one thing no one can take away from him, is that he has ensured everywhere that even those he supports into public office are people that eventually turn out to be very, very, very good and show that they were in fact competent. Fashola, for example, Fayemi in Ekiti, Aregbe Shola in Osun State, even some of those Ajimobi, Amosun, there's no one can say these are stooges or fools. No one can say that, And I think that it's important for us to recognize that attribute of the man. You know, that he's someone who at least has, in the public life of this country, managed to promote merit. I mean, if you look at the governors, any of the governors, look at the Fashola, for instance. Oh, when Fashola was appointed, a lot of people said, oh, he was Tinubu's man. But today, people are saying, yes, Fashola is a good governor, you know, and that is done very well. Same as the governors everywhere, same as the other governors, same as Fashola, who has shown by the social programs that he's inaugurated in Osun State that it is possible for government to take account of the poor.
He nominated you, right?
Oh, clearly he must have supported my nomination.
Supported?
Yeah,
or nominated?
No. There are many persons who are nominated. There's nobody who was running who was not being considered. You know, I don't think that it really comes down to...
Did he insist on Professor Yemi Osinbajo?
I wouldn't know of any of the internal details. I didn't attend any meetings. I didn't know any of that. I don't know any of the internal details. But there's no question at all that he definitely supported my nomination. If he didn't, and the other party leaders didn't support my nomination, I wouldn't be obviously I wouldn't be nominated.
State Affairs with Edmondo Bilo is live.
That is the Vice President of Nigeria, Professor Yemi Osinbajo. I spoke with him in 2014 after he was nominated as Buhari's running mate.
The country, beginning with other parts of the southwest. Rauf Aregbesola, of course, is from Osun State. I from Ogun State. Wale Edun from Ogun State. Athawari from Delta. He became the first commissioner for lands. Lai Mohammed from Kwara State. Dele Alake from Ekiti State, you know, and so many others. For the first time, we appointed judges from other, in fact, I've forgotten Ben Akabueze. Ben Akabueze, of course, from Anambra State, was commissioner for economic planning and budget after Yemi Cardoso, and for several years after that, he served as commissioner for budget and national planning. But also judges, the appointment of judges from everywhere else in the country. Justices Onyabo and Justice Sibyl Nwaka were both appointed to be judges of Lagos State. There is no other state in the country except some states in the north where we've seen the appointment of individuals from other states. And Asiwaju pioneered that. Just picking the best people, no matter where they're from, is a very important part of our story as a country. So every once in a while, I think that history gives us one or two persons who are gifted, transformative leaders. And I believe that our country has been gifted by this great transformative leader, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I believe very strongly that this man's political trajectory has only just begun. He's a man who has tremendous giftings, and is a man who I believe God has a great plan ahead for. I pray for you, Asiwaju, that as your days, so shall your strength, so shall your wisdom, and so shall your favor with God.
Look, I'm telling you the truth. Accept your humble pie, eat it. When you were sleeping, Bola Tinubu was working day and night. He secured Lagos, secured Ogun, secured Oyo, secured Osun, secured Ekiti, secured Ondo, secured Edo. And you say it's a nobody or there. And you think he labored that much to now say, come and take. No. He's not a fool. Jephthah is not an idiot. Stop all this nonsense about ancestry. You will kill your heroes. And those who can deliver you, you will put them aside and nothing will happen. All these Shakabula leaders, they don't have machine gun. All they have is Shaka. You know what Shakabula is? Dengon. He that has ears to hear, let him hear. I'm not afraid of anybody. Ojo Benny Kosore and Ejiri Jimpa. Stop plotting, scheming against someone. He had his past, you have yours. Even Pope has a past. Don't let me expose your men of God, though. Because they all have their past too. And before I expose them, I should look inward. I have my past too. And you do too.
Optimists, we have done our own bidding. And by God's grace, our candidate will emerge as the presidential flag bearer of the APC in the next 72 hours. By God's grace, it's not a subject of dispute, but a question of time. He has paid the price. And yesterday, in Abeokuta, he made some remarks that were deliberately distorted and misquoted out of context. And this is something that I've been saying repeatedly. But because those that have nothing to show wants us to go low. And honestly, we are not interested in having conversations or obsessions with the mundane. We want to have genuine conversation on how to move this nation forward. And such as Aga said, the truth that men prepare not to hear is often the truth that sets them free. The truth that sets men free is most often the truth that men prepare not to hear. Whether Asiwaju's opponents like it or not, whether they are willing to admit it or not, he played a pivotal role not only in the emergence of President Muhammadu Buhari as the candidate of the APC, but in the ultimate election in 2015. This man, this poor man, has been subjected to the most vitriolic of attacks. But as one Hinds magazine cover story said, the man bodies, the fly bodies around and disturbed a man with a pestering saw. But when this man grabs the fly and throws it into his mouth, the whole world will erupt in a cacophony of exclamations and reprimands. What has he said that I have not said a different fora? But out of sheer mischief, they have gone to town with the story that Asiwaju is claiming to have been instrumental in the election of President Muhammadu Buhari. H.S. Aga, again, Charles Pressfield's quote, so neither in what it gives, nor in what it does not give, nor in its most of presentation was the unclouded face of truth so far wrong. Comment is free, but facts are sacred. In 2011 presidential elections, President Muhammadu Buhari, as the CPC candidate, got 2,689 votes in Ekiti State. He got 17,654 votes in Ogun State. The president got 6,997 votes in Osun State. Juxtapose the performance of the president in 2011 with what he performed in 2015. He got 308,290 votes in Ogun State, 383,603 votes in Osun State, and 120,133 votes in Ekiti State. Facts do not lie. The president has been performing very well in the north. But in 2003 elections, in 2007 elections, in 2011 elections, despite his captive votes in the north, we couldn't cross the Rubicon. It was this alliance, this partnership, this handshake across the Niger that brought forth the Buhari presidency. So just because you hate a person, you shouldn't demonize such a person. He has paid his price and he deserves to be treated with respect and dignity. That's our own position. In 2015, President Buhari got 15,424,921 votes as against the 12,853,100 votes obtained by President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan. The difference between the two contenders was a mere 2.5 million votes. And how much did we got from the South West plus Edo State? We got 2.644 million votes. That was what made us win the election. And even prior to that, let me tell you a story. A famous traditional ruler in northern Nigeria led a group of his colleagues and met with Asiwaju. He told Asiwaju that Buhari is not for us. Don't support Buhari in our own name. Subsequently, a group of retired army generals also approached this gentleman and told him, not in our name. We are not with Buhari. A group of intellectuals, the northern establishment led by a professor, they equally approached Asiwaju and told him, not in our name. We are not with Muhammadu Buhari. Again, from his home state of Katsina, they came to him and said, look, he's one of us. He's from Katsina, but we are not with him. Against all odds, this gentleman stood by the president. And in the 2014 presidential primaries, without the block votes that the Southwest gave us, President Buhari couldn't have clinched the trophy. That's the brutal truth. All those clowns, all those political anarchists, political jobbers and charlatans who are now dropping the president's name, I call them members of the Buhari's Church of Latter-day Saints. Why were they? That's $1 million question. I know. When push comes to shove, we can even name names. Some of them were working assiduously to see to the emergence of Rabiu Musa Konkoso as the presidential flag bearer of the APC. Some of them were working for former Vice President Atiku Abubakar. Very few of us stood by the president. My own state chairman, who were approached with $3.5 million to vote for a particular candidate. We refused. So I believe that, let's do justice to this.
So you think Tinubu is a name that sells?
Tinubu is the best person. We don't even have any option.
What about Asiwaju? Does the name sell? The VP?
Osibanjo is a good man. He's a nice man. But nice men do not make good leaders, because nice men tend to be nasty. Nice men should be selling popcorn, ice cream, and balabogologo. But he's a very decent person. I can't doubt that. And he's my personal friend, and I would rather not comment on his person. But he's a very decent man. That I can tell you.
bẹ́ẹ̀ tí ẹ fẹ́ darapọ̀ mọ́ ìjọ ni ẹ jẹ́ kí wọ́n lọ dẹ́gbẹ́ mi ilé ẹjọ́ jẹ́
tíkẹ́ẹ̀tì ẹgbẹ́ ààrẹ ta lẹ fẹ́ fún ká tó máa lọ.
kì í sọ̀rọ̀ èèyàn kan ṣoṣo.
no ẹ̀yin ta lẹ yín wa.
ebi bí ẹnìkan Tinubu ni pẹ̀lú ògùn Ọlọ́run. Ọlọ́run ó sì bá wa ṣe.
wọ́n ní bàbá ti dàgbà.
àgbà ṣé ó kò lè dánúrò ni àbí kí ni wọ́n mìíràn pé ó dàgbà.
pé ibi gẹrẹjẹ là bá gbà ni.
ibi gẹrẹjẹ ibi pò ṣẹ́rí mo máa ń sọ fáwọn èèyàn tẹ́ bá ní tọ́mọ bá jáde yunifásitì yìí sì tọ́jú gba first class ṣé ẹ fi ṣe vice chancellor nítorí kó gba first class tí ò tí ní experience.
Tinubu lẹ fẹ́ kẹ́ fún.
pẹ̀lú ògùn Ọlọ́run ó dẹ̀ bá a ṣe Ọlọ́run ó wọlá pé nínú gbogbo presidential aspirants tó wà lẹ́nìí. He is the most resourceful, he is the most intelligent, he is the most experienced.
Tinubu ni kí wọ́n fún.
And he is the most connected. tó jẹ́ pé
wọ́n ní tí wọ́n bá fún yín pé ẹ̀ ń lọ SDP sóòótọ́ ni.
èmi ò kò tí ẹ̀ àti ìdènù bíríìjì yẹn àti ìdèmí bíríìjì pẹ́.
ẹ mọ̀ tí ń fa àwọn kan sọ̀kò bẹ́ẹ̀.
èmi ò mọ̀ nípa yẹn.
sọ́tọ́ mọ̀ tí ń lọ.
bóyá ẹ wà privy to that I don't know.
ẹ mọ̀ mọ̀ tán mi.
èmi sọ gẹ́gẹ́ bí ẹnìkan originally mi ò ṣe Tinubu person.
ṣùgbọ́n ẹ ti di Tinubu person báyìí.
mi ò ṣe é dì rí mi ò ṣe é sì rí mi ò ṣe é sì ẹ̀ rí ṣùgbọ́n on merit ngbà mo wo gbogbo àwọn tí ó ń díje nísìn mo láti nífẹ̀ẹ́ Nàìjíríà débi pé kí n lè wo the best choice for this country.
Which is who?
Which is pẹ̀lú ògo Ọlọ́run Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
Not Asiwaju.
Well, Asiwaju would have his own time.
Ẹ jẹ́ àmọ́ lọ.
Musahanu Asa Asiwaju Tinubu Ahmed Asama President 2023.
Igbo Bueno, make una come together and canvass for Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu for President 2023.